And to be fair, these are not great moments for the president, but as always with Trump, the context does matter. The president caters endlessly to the media, and you know that, like none other in the history of this country. Often reporters do get disrespectful toward him. They start barking out rude questions, hoping to go viral, hoping for a reaction like Trump gave twice in recent days. We're going to start with the big one that you've been seeing all over the place the last couple of days, the quiet piggy moment. Trump flying home to Mar-a-Lago. He's on the jet on Friday, jumps into the cabin to give the media some attention, a standard courtesy that past presidents almost never extended. Immediately, Bloomberg reporter Catherine Lucy asked Trump what Jeffrey Epstein meant when he emailed Michael Wolff saying, of course, Trump knew about the girls. He asked Ghislaine to stop, asking about that one email and a batch of emails that came out last week that we've fully debunked at this point. Now, Trump, who sees this as another never-ending media-driven phony scandal of which he's been through so many, gives Lucy an expanded answer, politely gives her an expanded answer that ends with reminding her about Bill Clinton, Larry Summers, Reid Hoffman, and then he tries to change the subject, as the next reporter, standing right next to Catherine Lucy, then asks about Venezuela and Maduro, another very big topic for the president. When that happens, Catherine Lucy then interrupts that reporter quite rudely, demanding more Epstein questions, and that's when Trump loses his patience, and here's how it all went down.
Sir, is there something incriminating in the file, Venezuela, sir? Venezuela.
Not the best moment. But as usual, there's no camera on the reporters in these moments to show just how obnoxious they're being, because he puts up with a lot, and he doesn't get like this as often as maybe most people would. Regardless, the context at least shows you why he lost his temper. You needed to know all of that in the run-up to understand why he just said, quiet, piggy, and he's being made to be the biggest jerk in the world, right? The next moment happened yesterday with ABC's correspondent in the Oval Office as Trump took questions with the Saudi Crown Prince. Trump is attempting to do something right now that nobody in history has been able to do, and it would be magnificent if it were to be accomplished. And that is to force the Muslims and the Jews to get along by using commerce. The Abraham Accords are pure geopolitical brilliance, brought to you by the president, his son-in-law Jared Kushner, and others that were involved in the first term. The final piece of this deal, which would be astounding to accomplish, are the Saudis, the largest Arab economy. You tether them to Israel, you have something very special in the Middle East. Trump has been endlessly courting the Saudis, taking fire by those who are furious, and rightly so, about 9/11, and also those who are furious about the murdered journalist Jamal Khashoggi, which was much less of a tragedy. Trump ignoring that heat, though, trying to deliver an incredible alliance of peace that will change the world. Trump is not some Saudi stooge or Middle Eastern stooge. He's just a businessman trying to make the ultimate deal, a deal that could literally change the world, a deal that has never been able to be done. These two religions have been fighting for millennia. And the last thing he needed was hostility toward the Crown Prince in the Oval yesterday as he tries to lure him toward the West and away from China and Russia, as well as other radical Islamic countries that have not evolved as far as the Saudis have. But hostility is exactly what the president and MBS, Mohammed bin Salman, got from ABC's Mary Bruce, right there in the blue, who insulted the Crown Prince right to his face. And after Trump fought that one off, moments later, Mary Bruce fired off again with a shot at Trump over his handling of course, the Epstein files. And that's when Trump, and we weren't too surprised to see it, that's when he lost his patience.
Mr. President, why wait for Congress to release the Epstein files? Why not just do it now?
You know, it's not the question that I mind, it's your attitude. I think you are a terrible reporter. It's the way you ask these questions. You're a terrible person and a terrible reporter. And you're not after the radical left because you're a radical left network. But I think the way you ask a question with the anger and the meanness is terrible. You ought to go back and learn how to be a reporter. No more questions from you.
Another ugly moment, right? But again, the context. And remember, this is ABC, which spends its entire day, even in midday, even at night, just trashing the President of the United States, even though it is a federally regulated broadcast network.
You know, everybody's reporting the same stories, the same spin. You turn the channel, it's always the same. But not us. We're different. We report the real news. No spin, just the facts. Turn to us, and you won't turn back.
Tune in to Rob Schmitt tonight on Newsmax.